Hello, check, check. Hey, this is Matthew. Just thought I'd make a short video about this. I just finished, well, I didn't even finish it. I was working on this book, this Star Trek. It's backwards. The Price of the Phoenix. Um, it was just really bad. This is really bad. I bought it at this bookstore near the beach. I thought it would be, interesting. One thing I like about reading Star Trek novels is that you don't have to picture or imagine the actors. You can just kind of pick in your head. It's like watching an episode. So I usually like Star Wars and Star Trek books because of that. But this was like it's all about Spock. I don't know if you saw this episode, but there was like one episode where these two fell in love, or she was in love with him, and he tricked her to get a weapon. And so there's like a love triangle between her and Spock and the Kirk. And at the beginning, it opens with Kirk being dead, burned to death, and you're like, oh, okay, what a twist. Except that they undercut it because then they reference other episodes where they thought he was dead and he came back to life. So it's like, oh, okay, so this has kind of happened before. But they're like, no, this time for real, he's dead. And I guess he is. And I guess there's this villain named Omni who wears these black silk costume and he's like super evil. And I guess he created him a clone of him that his soul went into, and they make a big deal about that is actually Captain Kirk, and he actually went to the soul. And um so it's very Spock heavy if you like Spock, but it doesn't even seem like Spock, because Spock I really think is like logical and calculating, and then this Spock is very like emotional, like he's just full of rage, barely contained rage, and he's walking around, he's like, he killed Kirk. um and so Omni is the main villain who has a space station that they can't penetrate, and he has Kirk, this clone of Kirk, that he's going to give it to Spock if he obeys them, or they make the Federation join them or something. The Romulans join them. Um, it's yeah. Anyway, it's a high stakes game of poker, which we've already seen in the Carbonite maneuver. Um, but anyway, I couldn't even finish it because there's just one part where he takes and Omni takes Spock deep inside the core of the planet or the space station, and he reveals Kirk, who's naked on a bed, and it's like all dark, and there's like candles everywhere. It's like very romantic, like a Michael Bolton video. And so then he says, "You need to check to make sure he's the real Kirk." And so then Spock comes up and then Kirk's like, "Hey, what is going on, Spock? Last thing I remember, I was in the fire." And anyway, and then so he does the mind meld, and then finds out that he's actually the real Captain Kirk, and then he implants some kind of connection so he can find his way back to him and know, so he can always find him. What do you mean a connection, Spock? Um, so he can always find him, and it's just like, and then they go back, and then, oh yeah, and there's like on the space station, it's like an old west world where they don't have to wear 6 shooters, which I understand. If you're doing a TV show, you need to save money, and so you reuse the Wild West set that we have next door. Uh, but then if you're in a book, you can do anything you want. You can do anything in the world. Why are they wearing 6 shooters? Why would they issue them 6 shooters? They have phasers. Like, no, you can shoot at people, but you got to shoot with these pistols. And also, we're going to have to confiscate those pistols before you enter this room. And like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So I couldn't even finish it because the stuff like that just builds up. Um, Omni just seemed like a boring character. I did like her. I liked her in her episode. I forget which one it was, but she's always very interesting, and she's pretty interesting in this too, which was one of the reasons I wanted to keep reading it. And then of course, Kirk. I don't know. It's just weird homoerotic overtones, which I guess it's always existed between Spock and Kirk. But anyway, this is going in the trash. It was $3. I do not recommend. That's Star Trek Price of the Phoenix, and it's backwards, but that should get me out of copyright. All right. Well, anyway, have a great day. And if you're interested, I will do more reviews for other Star Trek books because I found a bunch of them. It's in one of the free libraries in the neighborhood.